Welcome back, we the people. I am a student and a devotee of the teachings of Dr. Malachi Z York, and also a campaigner for his release whilst he's been kidnapped and held in what's equivalent to a dungeon in the United States of America for speaking the truth, which leads us on to current affairs and the book of Revelation. And let us remind ourselves that the book of Revelation is not a religious book, although many may see it as that. It's a book of prophecy. It's a book that looks into the future. And in the days of the being called John, son of Zebedee and Salome, had this vision, and he was assisted by the angel Michael, known as Melchizedek in other times, and Malachi Z York, who is in this day and time the incarnation of Dr. Malachi Z York, otherwise known as Dr. York. We also know that Dr. Malachi Z York and the incarnations through him represent the fictional character, or I should say the fictional character that's written in the religious Christian Bible, particularly the King James Bible, actually describe a character, and they name this character the Messiah Jesus, when in actual fact it is Malachi Z York, who incarnates from time to time to give us and update us on current affairs and the truth. So we are now in the end times, and we can see in our noise programs or news programs, I like to call it noise because a lot of it is a lot of noise and not telling us much that we need to know. But anyway, so the book of Revelation is giving us a look into the future, and we are in the book of Revelation now, in these days and time, the last days. The last days representing a new cycle. For the scientists amongst us, we know that in all space and time, everything works in cycles. So we are now in a new cycle called a sun cycle. And in some quarters, in astrological quarters, they call it the beginning of the age of Aquarius. But there's a much bigger cycle than that, which is the 25,000, nearly 26,000 years cycle of the precession, as just one of many cycles. These are cycles of time and change. Now, as I said before, we are in the days of truth and propagating the truth. And in the noise, in the news, you heard of the co-founder of Wikileaks, a being by the name of ASANGE. I don't know who he is. That's not important. What is important is that he's produced or helped to release some truths. It's also important that he's a human being with the rights of all human beings, natural rights of all human beings, to speak the truth wherever we see it or experience it. I make a disclaimer. I am not involved in politics. I don't get involved in politics because politics is full of politricks, many tricks. and it's dirty business. So I stay out of politics, just speaking the truth, backed up by facts and evidence. We must stay mindful in this day and time, in our last days before the great change takes place, as it is taking place, really. I should say it's taking place right now and has been for many years. We must stay mindful and without fear. The and we should enable each other to speak the truth and bear evidence to the truth, expose the truth wherever we find it. The atrocities that are being ignored by the powers to be, modern day lynching, equivalent to the fictional story of a Jesus crucifixion, is now taking place. The sacrifices of many for truth, such as beings of the past, such as Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Malachi Z York, now kidnapped and still with us. We look back at things like the Waco atrocities and the Georgetown atrocities, historical crusades in the past. These are the same energy that's plaguing us in this day and time. We see that they spread wide and around the globe, pretending to fight for freedom in other states, in other lands, and they are now committing the same offenses and crimes that they profess to try and eradicate. So basically, they see themselves, this power to be, they see themselves as torchbearers. They carry a light, they say. They're illuminated. Torchbearers that torture. And there are nothing more, as far as we can see, as political global crime syndicate that is also corporate concerns around the globe. Corporate concerns that are main interests that have main interest in making a profit. We, the people, are now being subjected to censorship of speech. We're able, as human beings, to assess for ourselves what is fact and what is fiction with proper diligent research. We don't need outside interference to tell us what is fictional and what isn't. Those who want to find out the truth will find the truth. So we're back into Book of Revelation, the Holy LG, also known as the L's Holy Angel. And I particularly want to bring our attention back to previous recordings from the Book of Revelation, L's Holy Angel. And I will remind us of Revelation chapter 1, verse 9 through to 16. I shall only read some of that. Those of you who want to get the full readings, we'll need to go back to previous recordings. So, some of us could bear witness to the fact that a quiet revolution has already occurred. It's happened. And if we think of it in a competitive sense, we've already won this battle of truth against falsehood. And for some, if you like, good against bad. Do the right thing. So this revolution has occurred quietly without being televised. So don't give up our natural rights, people. Don't fear for the sake of comfort and the privileges of life. Remember, energy cannot be destroyed. It is our natural being. And our energy comes from a world that is of peace and harmony before we came into the light of chaos. So don't forget who we are. We are naturally sentient beings, sent to experience this lit up world of chaos and to help set the record straight by right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, which will lead us to sound right reasoning when we need it, and truth backed up by substantive facts and evidence, all in the divine love of all. So, um, all of you out there, let us keep up the good work. And this being by the name of ASANGE, we need to speak the truth and back anyone that speaks the truth as we know it.